Welcome to the Hawaii Japanese Center. Nice to see you folks again. Hawaii Japanese Center was established as a nonprofit in 2002, and this site was dedicated in 2007. But our history actually goes much further back. There's this gentleman that I must mention. His name was Kiyoshi Okubo, and Okubo-san used to publish a Japanese language newspaper in Hilo called the Hilo Times. He also had a radio program, and he talked about stories of Hawaii and history of the Japanese in Hawaii, very popular. And he was an avid collector. He had literally piles of old newspapers and books and artifacts. He kept them everywhere in his home. So when he finally got too elderly to maintain his place and his collection, this nonprofit was created to assume care of his collection. And in the subsequent years, we've just added and added more things. As I often explain to visitors, Hawaii is in an interesting place historically where younger generations, let's say Sansei, Yonsei generations, are having to take care of the properties of their families. The Issei Nisei, of course, are all but gone already. And especially on a place like the Big Island, where so many rural areas are still intact. You have old plantation home, era homes still standing. Not like Oahu, which is much further developed. So people are discovering old things tucked away in the family home, in the closet, in the garage, in the basement, and they feel very guilty throwing it away, and so they bring it here. Literally, we receive donations of things, books, records, Japanese dolls, silverware. Some of the things that they donate or that are not, let's say, historically significant, we have permission to resell here in our gift shop. And others we will keep as best we can for as long as we can. Over here, people come, at least they have a little deeper appreciation for what these objects are. So that's kind of how we have come as far as we have. And we rely almost totally on volunteers. And everything we have here is paid for by donations. And slowly by slowly, one room at a time, it's been built out. I can walk you through and show you what else we're doing.
Great.
Here on the Big Island, to our knowledge, there are at least 4 families that can trace their genealogy back to Ganen Mono. Ganen Mono, when they arrived, 1/3 went to the mainland, 1/3 stayed in Hawaii, 1/3 went back to Japan. So of those that stayed in Hawaii, the majority went to Oahu and Maui. Big Island, none, originally. But after their contracts were expired, 3-year contracts, some of them moved to the Big Island. This is one example here of a Ganen Mono family, but they are now in their 6th generation. Ganen Mono preceded Kanyakuimi by roughly 1 generation. I mean, most of them Japanese came because of sugar, labor contract, but upon the expiration of the labor contract, they were free to do other things. So some of them who came had skills. They were carpenters, tailors, they opened stores and businesses. That's how the Japanese became more and more diverse. I think those are things that are sometimes overlooked. We always say sugar plantation or pineapple, but beyond that, there were many other ways that the Japanese became an integral part of Hawaiian society. So there are people in our communities, we try to retain ties with where their ancestors came from. So we have Kenjinkai groups, still active in Hawaii and on the Big Island. So each Kenjinkai decorated their own case. Before we move on, I just want to show you the kind of things that come in. And this one in particular, you see that baseball uniform. As you can tell, they had a Japanese team. And so Japanese team competed against other ethnic groups. So you had a Puerto Rican team, Filipino team, Hawaiian team, but you also had other leagues. Every plantation had their own team, but your plantation team, you pick the best one from your town. So pitcher maybe Filipino, catcher Korean. So you can see how on the one hand, you try to maintain your pride in being Japanese. At the same time, you have to join with the others. So that's why to me that uniform is many stories behind it. This is the library. We estimate about 80% of this goes back to Okubo-san's time. But
Okubo-san had that many books?
he did. He did. The books on the right are from the Meiji era.
This is all Meiji?
All Meiji. Everything on the left is more rare because these are books in Nihongo published in Hawaii.
Oh,
Publish all this?
Hi. And more behind here. Everything.
I would like to read those.
So you can tell they're organized by subject roughly. So general history of Japanese in Hawaii, you had sports, you have religion. Nothing speaks more eloquently about what Issei were thinking and feeling than their own words.